Addressing the massive catastrophe brought by Typhoon Yolanda, Tucci Philippines spent the year 2014 on focusing on its midterm rehabilitation efforts for the survivors. Master Zheng further granted 256 prefabricated classrooms to more affected schools in Leyte, which came just in time for the reopening of classes in June. As classes resumed, Tucci Foundation shifted to repairing roofs and school buildings that were damaged by the typhoon. By August, these buildings were back to being used as regular school facilities.
Without yung donation ng Tucci, hindi kami makakapag-continue ng mga classes namin.
Master Zheng noted that the Philippines is a predominantly Christian country, and churches served as people's spiritual refuge, especially in times of calamities. During the days of the Cash for Work program, church grounds served as a venue for the daily sharing sessions with the people. Seeing that the Santo Niño Parish Church did not escape the wrath of Yolanda, Tucci volunteers recommended it for reconstruction. By February, the Memorandum of Agreement was officially signed with the parish heads, signaling Tucci's commitment to renovate the Catholic Church in Tacloban.
I thought and I believe that God would send some people to help us rebuild this church. Tucci has extended that love and compassion.
Master Zheng also instructed the Tucci volunteers to coordinate with the local government to acquire vacant lots for a housing project. In Palo, Mayor Remedios Petilla secured a piece of land for Tucci, while in Ormoc City, Mayor Edward Codilla and his family offered a 50-hectare lot for the housing project. As a gesture of sincerity, the mayor of Ormoc and his wife traveled to Taiwan to personally present their donation to Master Zheng. After all talks were settled, Tucci Philippines hired contractors to start with the land development, while the local government committed to work on the utilities and infrastructure, among others. Meanwhile, Tucci Taiwan expanded its operations by setting up 2 additional workshops to attend in the production of the shelters. For months, hundreds of Taiwanese volunteers displayed teamwork for the housing project. They operated heavy equipment, did welding works, and ensured proper measurements in order to lessen the burden of the volunteers during installation. The shelters come in 2 measurements to accommodate different sizes of family beneficiaries. Families with 4 members or less received a 2-bedroom house, while families with 5 or more members were given a house with an additional bedroom. As the first batch of materials arrived in Leyte via Cebu in August, Tucci volunteers from Taiwan simultaneously trained the locals to properly assemble the houses. In September, the installation works began in Palo and Ormoc. With the intent of providing a source of income for the locals, Tucci started a Cash for Work program for the installation of shelters. In Ormoc, local residents were mobilized to produce bamboo strips to be used in the cement tiles for the flooring of the shelters. At the same time, beneficiaries for the housing project participated as volunteers in the production of cement tiles. The massive Cash for Work program and relief efforts in Tacloban became the spark that awakened the sense of volunteerism of the people. After Tucci's emergency relief phase ended, many local residents adopted the foundation's peso donation and recycling program. Because of this, Tucci Philippines actively conducted training seminars where the missions of Tucci and the responsibilities of volunteers were properly introduced. In April, 8,000 people signed up in a total of 9 sessions within 2 days. These were held simultaneously in 3 venues.
Sobrang kaligayahan ko na maibalik naman ang mga nagawa sa amin ng Tucci.
The Chinese community of Tacloban also joined the ranks of training Tucci volunteers, together with the Filipino locals. They are now mobilizing for different missions, such as disaster response and classroom construction, among others.
We are deeply emotion sa kagalayan ng mga tao namin dito. As much as possible, we spare our time to join Tucci.
This year, the Taiwan government donated more than 40,000 tons of rice to the Philippines, hoping to benefit the areas affected by disasters. Tucci Philippines brought this aid to Leyte, Bohol, and Zamboanga. The local volunteers from Tacloban were instrumental in delivering 20 kilo sacks of rice to the families in Leyte. A total of 106,000 families from Ormoc, Tacloban, Palo, and Tanawan benefited from the rice aid provided by Tucci.
Thank you, Tucci!
The sharing sessions prior to the relief activity continuously inspired goodness among the residents. On the day of the rice relief, Virginia Babatuan was about to slaughter 1 pig to celebrate her granddaughter's first birthday, while Romulo Kakilala was about to kill a monitor lizard which preyed on his chickens. Because they listened to Tuchi volunteers sharing on respect for life, both decided to spare the lives of the animals. Hoping to ease the children's trauma because of Typhoon Yolanda, Tuchi volunteers started the Jingsi Books Project, which reflected on the importance of providing positive teachings. Initiated by the Jingsi Books and Cafe of Taiwan, Tuchi volunteers actively promoted the project. Children from overseas donated their New Year's blessings red packet money to participate in sending love to the Filipino children. In a short span of time, 100,000 sets of Jingsi books were produced for distribution. In September 2014, the Jingsi Kitty Books was introduced to the public school heads and teachers in Ormoc City through a 2-day symposium. Teachers from Tuchi, Malaysia supported the project by sharing their teaching methods of the Jingsi aphorisms. Symposium was immediately followed by a citywide book distribution to students in public elementary schools. In November, the book drive reached Palo, Tanawan, and Tacloban City.
Thank you po nito at i-share ko ito sa mga magulang ko.
In the same month, students wowed the Tuchi volunteers with beautiful Jingsi-inspired drawings during a poster-making contest. As the country commemorated the first-year anniversary of Typhoon Yolanda, top government officials visited Tuchi's housing project sites and lauded the foundation's sincerity in helping people in need.
Napakaganda at ang pinakamahalaga rito, higit pa doon sa halaga ng bahay, ay yung halaga ng dignidad.
Partnering with Filon Ngayon, a television program of ABS-CBN, Tuchi Foundation became instrumental in renewing the lives of 200 families through a pedicab project. Led by Ted Filon, Tuchi, and Testa, the new pedicabs were given to drivers in Tacloban, Palo, Tanawan, Santa Fe, Alang-Alang, and Dagami.
And we hope na ito na yung template sa lahat ng pedicab operations in the entire Philippines para sila mga modelong pedicab driver.
As part of celebrating Tuchi Foundation Philippines' 20th anniversary, which coincides with the first-year anniversary of Yolanda, Tuchi planned a month-long photo exhibit at the People's Center in Tacloban City from October to November. The event gathered more than 45,000 guests who bore their overwhelming gratitude through coin-filled cans. For a period of 1 month, donations from the exhibit rose to a total of 1.65 million pesos. On December 17, Tuchi Foundation gave a beautiful Christmas to 100 families when they held the turnover ceremony for the first batch of houses completed in San Jose, Palo. On December 24th, the first Christmas Mass was held in the newly reconstructed Santo Niño Church.
We are one, and in the name of love, that gives us the common language that speaks between us Catholics and Buddhists because of the love for humanity, the love for the concern for everybody, and that we really appreciate very much.
Tuchi Foundation will turn over more houses in the coming months and reach out to more people. As Master Zheng Yan says, only when hearts are purified can crises be mitigated, and only when hearts are united and working as one can the suffering be saved. Because of this, the foundation seeks to inspire more hearts in creating more blessings.
Mabuhay Tuchi!